Welcome to Center Hice Production. It is December the 1st, 2023. Please hit the like and subscribe down below in the right hand corner. Muchly appreciate your support to grow the channel. And let's try to get 150 likes. I really appreciate your help. And thank you to my subscribers. I really appreciate your following. Breaking news. This is an extra. Like I said, it's funny because I just say breaking news. I mean, the news has just come out in the last. Just came across my phone anyway, so I'm sure it's probably within the last hour or so. Friday, the news came out. Breaking news. I'm going to read it right off the report. The Montreal Canadiens signed goaltender Sam Montembeault to a 3-year extension, which an average annual value of $3.15 million. The team announced this Friday. There will be more to come. So, that being said, this is great news. Josh Wagman was the person that wrote this article. So, that being said, and I've seen it on several. I've seen it on CTV as well for confirmation. I've seen it on Read It. I've seen it on the Montreal Gazette as well. So it's confirmed. He has signed a 3-year deal. This is great news. We knew it was coming. Speculation is over. Thank God you get this over with. So now I think we get to a point where a decision can be made with one of these goaltenders. Something's got to transpire. And this was great news because, I mean, Sam at his age, where him and, Allen kind of go head to head, and they go back and forth. That's fine and dandy, but Allen's much older, and I think he could help a veteran team that's making a push for a playoff. However, I think, in a longer duration, this would probably be Allen's last season anyway, maybe next year. But I'm wondering if he'll even get to see next year because his age is catching up, and they might want to cash. They're going to want to cash in on one of these goaltenders, and I don't even know if Primo's worthwhile cashing in on. To be quite frank, that's just my opinion. I think you're better off just putting Primo on waivers, or you take a 7th-round pick and see what happens with the next one, what he was worth. See what happens with that magical operation. However, with what the two guys that are worth something are Allen and Montie, and Montie's the younger of the two, and keeps, with his age, he hasn't shown his full ceiling yet either. So that's good news as well. So I think he's wise choice by the Canadiens. I think Hughes did a wonderful job. I think they knew what they were doing. I think they were studying this close. So, Edmonton, you're going to have to deal with it because I don't think Montie's going anywhere, to be quite frank. I think we got to have one goaltender during this rebuild just to get us through this. That is somewhat someone you can rely on a little bit of steady play, because you're not going to get, if Allen gets moved, you won't get two of them that way. You'll have a rocky situation if it's Montie and Primo as being the duo, but you need at least to have one guy there, and he's the younger of him and Allen, so I think this is a great move. I think he's been earning it since he's warmed up and got rolling here in this season. Took him a bit, and the tail end of last season. So I think Hughes got this over with, and I'm glad to see it. And Edmonton, you're going to have to you're going to have to pay a little more if you're coming to Montreal for a goalie, because you're either going to have to accept taking Allen, or if you want to give us something for Primo, that's great and dandy. However, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they got to get rid of this 3 goaltender situation, and I'd rather see if we just put them on the waivers. And yeah, it's great if you can get something for Primo, but I don't know if you can. This is not an NHL goaltender, but glad. I think they seen that last night. This was the confirmation. They seen teams, once they're reading up on Primo, it's evident they're going to the write-ups on the weaknesses, and it's evident that the write-up is just go high, because he can't catch a puck, and he even has a hard time blocking him with a blocker. So go high on him, you got him beat, and that seems to be the right up if you look at it just from looking at it as a non-viewer. That's what I see. There's just at least, Montie and Allen can catch a puck and they can relatively use their blocker. Primo, I'm sorry, is much more at an AHL level tops. And I think he could help Laval right now with being a mentor to Dovish. I think Laval could use his help if he gets through. If he gets picked up on waivers, oh well. Because I can't see you getting more than a seventh round pick for him if Edmonton or someone's crazy enough to do that. So is it worth to go through all that headache and mess with the mojo of Montie and Allen as the duo? Because that's all you're doing. I mean, it's no wonder you're making it hard for the goaltenders to get traction by having three of them bouncing. It's just not copacetic whatsoever. So great news. Great job, Hughes. Great job, Gordon. Very happy with the decision. I think they were watching this closely to see the performances of them. I think that now they fully realize Primo is not the answer and he's not NHL material. So I think now by trade deadline you may see us get into a position to make a trade to a team that needs a veteran goaltender for the push in the playoffs, and that's when you might see Allen get unloaded. I can see that happening because, like I said, Allen's done a wonderful job, but we're now at a point where maybe it's time to look at a different goaltender to be with Montie, a different 1-2 punch, really. Something a little cheaper, sustainable, and I think that's the way to go. I think there are options out there. Maybe it opens the door for an Askarov trade. I'd love that. But anyway, Montie signed. Good news. He deserves it. He's been doing a good job since he started to. He didn't look great at the very beginning of the season, but as he warmed up, he definitely has taken the reins. No doubt about it. And that's what I find with him and Allen. They seem to reverse roles a lot. They bounce back and forth, and very similar. But if they're that similar, you got to go with the younger guy. There's no doubt. He's got a lot. He can do more duration. Allen's getting towards the end of his career, and I think Allen would be suitable for a team making a push. And like I say, oh well, Edmonton, too bad, so sad, because you're the one in need, not us. But I mean, Edmonton may be able to make the playoffs anyway. They're starting to heat up, and that west side it doesn't take as many points. They're catching up fast already. So maybe they don't even do this yet. Maybe they wait till the trade deadline because I think Edmonton's quite capable of making the playoffs. Even they weren't that far behind. It's not surmountable for the Oilers to catch up with the firepower they got. However, they are going to need a goaltender come trade deadline if they want to make a push in the playoffs. It will catch them. So, but I don't think they have to hurry. Again, if I'm Montreal, it's time to make a decision on Primo. Either you waive him or you trade him. You're not going to get much. Now, yes, you're in a position of power with a team like Edmonton. Best you could do is get a fifth for him, and I think that's pushing it. I just think I know Holland's not the brightest candle, but I think he's smart enough not to give up that he knows Primo's not even worth that. Really, if you want to give up a seventh rounder just to see if you could match getting that in a draft and then see what that project turns into, because Primo's done as far as his NHL career. He's a good kid. I like the guy a lot. He's just not NHL material. But he would be a great. He'd be a great, I think, person to be the veteran in Laval to let the rookies come through with him. He's a good place. That's his ceiling. So great news, and as I said, it was $3.15 million a season for 3 years. Now, I know a couple of the channels were reporting that it was a 2-year contract. No, it is a 3-year deal. So that's the good news on that, and very happy that the Habs, I think the Habs were, whoops, let me see, where'd that go? Where'd that go? Yeah. So 3 years at 9.45 extension, which amounts to 3.15 million a year. This was just announced not long ago. So great news. Thank you for joining me. We will catch you, and I'm so excited. I just think I think Montie is the guy. That duration right there will get them to the point of the up and coming goaltenders to see what the situation is at that point. And I think at that point, if we get a starter that takes over, Montie would still be a great backup. He'd be a good 1A. So, or not a 1A, sorry, a 1B. So he'd be a good backup, but he can take the reins for the time being in the situation we're in a rebuild. So this is great news. Glad to see it. Now we just got to resolve getting the starter in the future, which, like I say, I personally wouldn't pass on Askarov. I don't know. That's just me. I'd love to see it. I think Askarov and Montie would be a great 1-2 punch. But we shall see what happens because, you don't know with prospects. Like, I know we got a lot of confidence in the Russian goaltender, the prospect. He's cutting it up over there in Russia. And we got a lot of confidence in Fowler. But them being, in junior leagues and things in lower levels of hockey, it takes them time, and it takes a goaltender a lot longer, and you don't know what the finished product's going to be. So for me, I mean, worst case scenario, you get yourself a deal, and that's if you want to move up in the standings too. I don't think we're in any rush, but I think Askarov, I like that guy. I wouldn't hesitate at all because I think by next season, you're going to want to start moving up. I think after this draft, mind you, I wouldn't mind another draft after that to worry about it, but I think that's the way Hughes and Gordon are thinking. So with that being said, Habs signed Montie for another 9.45 over 3 years, 315 per season. I think that's a fair contract. Like I said, I do think Allen, that was done under Bergevin, and I think it was just at the timing, right? And I think that it was a little just slightly higher than what it should have been. Maybe 30,000 or so less would have been nice. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Where's the puck drop first? You've seen it here at Center Hice. We will catch you after the Detroit game Saturday night. God bless.